Hello, this is Whatcast and I'm Matt. So this one happened yesterday, this debate here between Mctoon and globeymcglobeface versus Shane here and Alan. Now, if you're new to this topic, I'm just going to let you guess which pair are the flat earthers here. Is it this pair here with the Chewbacca here and Jabba the Hutt, with, you know, Shane liked his chin so much he grew another one? Or is it these two here, these normal looking people over this side? I wonder which ones might think the Earth's flat. Is that my bias showing? I don't know, right? But this one happened yesterday. I've watched a bit of it. I've watched the bit I'm about to cover, which is unlike me. I usually like to react as I react, but it was a funny bit, and it shows you the dishonesty, the desperation, and the stupidity of these people here. And they are apparently globe busters, right? So they are kind of like at the tip top of this of the flat earth community these days. Not that that's much of a high bar, considering most of the ones that had any intelligence whatsoever have left. And there's only like the complete deniers remaining.
We've got the distance B to the star, because that the elevation A, I put in 5,000 kilometers. You see that? 5,000 kilometers, an elevation angle of 2.05 degrees, right? So what do we get? Well, there's flat Earth, but from the center to the perimeter of flat Earth is 20,000 kilometers. We need how much? 139. Let's call it 140,000 kilometers. Well, that's not quite there. Let's be generous and say that it's 20,000 kilometers from Colorado there to the edge of the disk, right? We're nowhere near. We need 140,000. This is to scale how far away 39 Aquarii needs to be to scale in order for it to be at 2 degrees angular elevation. But the problem is, of course, there is an actual GP on the surface of the Earth at around 14 degrees south latitude, which is significantly inside Antarctica. So way, way, way off. The value here is so massively off. The scale, the number of zeros in the difference between where flat Earth requires it to be and where it actually is in reality is an absolute multiple orders of magnitude difference. So there you go. I don't know how you're going to explain that one there, but 7 times farther away than the distance to Antarctica.
And the fun begins.
Thank you.
Well, that was a nice episode of Euclidean misappropriation, I think, right? Assuming infinite vision and Euclidean triangles exceeding into forever. That's the same principle of how they get, parallax angles with a triangle that closes at 0.00001 or whatever.
What'd you say, Jabba? That's what it sounded like to me. Don't know about that.
So I don't think that that's a proper distance. I think you were drawing distances also wrong, right? Based on stellar observations and misappropriation of Euclidean perspective, I would say the proper way is to use the graticule, right? As we started with.
Could you just point out the correct way to determine the what I did? Just walk us through the right way to do it. So we know in reality.
Jabba's panicking. You can see on their face, like, I love it when he does it. This is what everybody should do to these people. They just get to hand wave and say, hey, you did it wrong, and then move on to the next topic. But people like Toon, people that have been in this game for a long time, will say, no, actually, what did I do wrong? Show me what I did wrong. Do it right for me. You can see on Jabba's face that he does not know how to do it. I don't know why his face all goes up this way for some reason with his collection of chins swinging around there.
That at that moment, that 39 Aquarii is at 14 degrees south latitude. So how is the correct way to do the geometry?
Well, you can use Haversine, right? You can get your input points as points with long lat, because the coordinate system with which it's defined is going to measure the distance. Same with the nautical mile, if you want to use that, and then that's how you would determine the distance on the graticule, and then you splay it out on your flattened graticule projection that you are also misusing.
Okay, but don't do it without a projection. Do it in a non-projected coordinate system.
I mean, how would you measure distances like that across vast without using the ground when it's mostly water? Well,
just go ahead. Just go ahead.
So we would
show how to do it, Shane.
Stars.
Show how to do it. Run us through the geometry for
The panic on the face of Jabba. That's what he's thinking to himself.
seeing an angle to a star of slightly more than 2 degrees in Colorado when it is over 14 degrees south latitude. Show us that geometry. The correct way.
Don't start with a globe.
Yeah, just use flat Earth. You don't get to use Haversign. You can't use Haversign.
Look, Chewie's laughing. He doesn't want him, but he's laughing over there. Look.
I'm not talking about seeing forever. I'm talking about you can definitely see that star. And so you're saying that there's a different way to do the geometry, that I did it wrong. Please show the right way to do the geometry. Get out your paper. Get out your map. This is the non-projected map. Don't use a projection. Don't say graticule. Use a 1 to n scale map.
Chewie's sweating and Jabba's sweating a bit here.
Geometry for that.
What I'm saying is you portrayed the calculation incorrectly on that flattened out graticule.
Excellent. Show the right way to do it. Show the right way. Go show the right way. All you got to do.
What's the correct way?
Chop.
Show the right way. Disagree with the method, as I said, with using Haversign, right? With the longitude.
No, I disagree with the method. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I know you did it wrong. I don't know how to do it. I'm not going to show. I'm not going to waste my time showing you. I've got Princess Leia dancing over here, so I'm too busy. Luke's about to fall down the pit with a monster. I ain't got time to show you any of this bollocks, right?
Longitude and latitude is the graticule. You guys can't separate the graticule, longitude, lat from the Earth, right? You think those synonymous? They're not. They're different. They're different things. Right?
But here's the thing. Here's what we can do.
Shane, with long
here's what. Stop saying. Shane, we can use a non-projected coordinate system, and we can use a non-projected algorithm, Haversign, and get the actual position. That uses the globe. And so you're saying that's not correct. You say it's not a globe. So use the non-projected. This is what you presented.
He does an even worse job. Old Jabba here, Shane. He does a worse job than Flatsword of pretending to be unflustered by shuffling around in his chair endlessly, pouring with sweat, and pretending to look calm when his whole body language says, "Oh fuck."
As the non-projected Earth,
or his whole body probably says, which means "oh fuck."
So show how to do that on the non-projected Earth. And you can't use Haversign because that's a spherical coordinate system, right? The non-projected spherical coordinate system that we use, not projected. And you need to show the correct way to do it using not the globe geometry.
Yeah, so it is the coordinate system of long lat. It's not the globe. You said it's the globe. No, you're measuring it in the coordinate system. You're using...
Chewie frantically Googling.
Long lat. Haversign take inputs of latitude and longitude as starting and endpoints. Its distance
and linear distance,
and its result is comporting with the system with which it's defined in. That's
and a linear distance.
So when you say it's the globe, that's incorrect.
It includes a linear distance. What's the linear distance, Shane? What's the linear distance that's used in the Haversign formula?
Show me that it's the globe being used.
Shane, what's the linear system? What is the linear distance used in the Haversign formula? Shane?
My position is that it's the coordinate system, and your position is that it's the Earth. Show me that it's the Earth and not the coordinate system. Right?
Shane, why are you avoiding the answer?
Because you're just keep chanting this, right?
What
the coordinate system is the
until you man up, until you look down in your panties there and find the balls to answer the question. What is the linear distance used in the Haversign formula as an input?
What do you mean?
There is a linear distance that's input into the Haversign formula. What is it?
Chewie's looking it up desperately. Jabba's, he knows he can't look up because he's trying to listen. He's looking as calm as, well, don't care. Whatever. Linear distance, don't matter to me. Sweat pouring down.
For which calculation? You mean just in general, the parameter? You want me to define the term with which describes the linear portion?
There are 3 inputs to the Haversign: latitude, longitude, and a...
Get him swallowing. He's got a dry mouth there, Jabs.
Linear number. What's that linear number?
I don't know.
You don't know. You're going to tell me about Haversign formula and you don't know that third number?
Oh, so you think that changes the output and changes...
Yes.
My position?
I think
it doesn't change your position because you're a fucking idiot.
It shows that you...
Position
it shows
the coordinate system of long lat.
Yeah, it shows that you don't know what you're talking about.
That you think you're trying to argue for?
It shows you don't know what you're talking about. It shows you don't know what the Haversign formula is for. It shows that you don't understand the concept.
Of course I do.
Okay, what is the linear number that is put into the Haversign formula?
Chewie, look at Chewie Googling, and now Jabba's Googling as well. It's a bit embarrassing here. They're going to pretend it doesn't matter in a minute, I'm sure of it.
Go Google it. Ask Grok, ask ChatGPT, whatever you need. Go ahead.
Where's the linear term you want me to define?
What's up there, Chewie?
There is a linear number that you put into the Haversine formula in order to compute distances across the surface of the Earth.
So the
What is that
argument
linear number?
for using the Haversine is that it's tied to the coordinate system, which is my position.
And
right? The coordinate
and
system.
one other number. What is
Your
that other
position
number?
is that it's tied to the Earth.
What is that other number?
So, in
Shane,
any which way.
What is
how
the
it's
other number,
tied
Shane?
to the
Is there a
Earth.
reason why
What do
you
think?
won't just say
Do
what
you
that
think
number
it would be
is?
tied to the Earth in any way you can prove?
I think
or is
Alan
there
might
no
know.
way to substantiate
can you
how
help
it's
him
tied
out?
to the Earth
Can you
and
tag
not
in?
to the coordinate system?
Chewie's getting a bit angry. What is it, Chewie?
Alan, tag in, Alan.
1 second, but before I do, your conclusion was our premise. The 3959 that's asserted in that is also derived from elevation angles from Polaris. There's nothing mutually exclusive of that. This is why the celestial theodolite tells us the difference here. You're using a trigonometric function.
Shame St. Plagiaire. The radius of the globe is the other number that's necessary in the Haversine formula.
Yeah, do you know why?
Shame! Oh my goodness, how embarrassing for you.
This is where they claim the radius of the dome is the same as the radius of Earth, right?
They do that. That's what that Stephen Alonso does and things like that. They claim that the size of the dome is actually the radius of the globe. Therefore, everything works because the dome is this size. Oh, the desperation now.
Do you know
Where they
why?
claim that.
That's the first law of Flair, guys.
Toon, do you know why it's that?
Yes, I do, because it's a spherical trigonometric function. It requires the radius of the sphere.
Oh my God, Jabba's laughing desperately.
Using a coordinate system derived from elevation angles from Polaris, the equivalent.
It's derived from all sorts of things. You can derive, you can figure out the radius of the Earth through many different things.
I'm trying to speak, and he's having a seizure.
Let's go with it. Alan will give you how about 60 seconds? You want 120 seconds?
60 should be.
Come on, Chewie, put it to bed.
So again, your conclusion was our premise, right? We're trying to test for mutual exclusivity, not calculations using the coordinate system and then asserting the correct interpretation of the coordinate system, right? That same linear value would be used either way on the coordinate system, because our assertion is that the coordinate system is a merger of two hemispheres derived at independent times with respect to a specific time of year, which is the vernal equinox. That's what the latitude and longitude system wholly represents. What you're asserting with the linear distance, do you think someone went to the center of the Earth to measure it? No, they calculated.
No, there's other ways to do that.
It wasn't a question. It was rhetorical.
Yeah, please don't answer, because then I can just pretend that I'm getting my own back with this rebuttal. If you interrupt me, you'll make me look as fucking stupid as I am.
It's calculated from elevation angles to Polaris, which gives the same thing. So what you're asserting isn't mutually exclusive. Use of the Haversine is not mutually exclusive. Timing differentials with respect to star occlusions is mutually exclusive. That tells us the correct nature and geometry of the realm. Otherwise, the calculations, that the same ones that you're relying on to give accurate distances, wouldn't give the accurate elevation that corresponds to the time that corresponds to when the star was actually occluded at the relevant distance to the observer. So this whole getting excited and wetting the bed was for naught.
No,
For his
see,
followers. That's why he's here.
Yeah, whatever you said didn't matter anyway. No. Oh my God.
I simply, in the beginning of this, brought up a lot of mutually exclusive things. Okay, we could gladly go over any of those and explain how. I know you want to immerse yourself in the world of.
Name one.
Of
Let's go. Name one.
The flights, simply the flights.
Okay.
Would you like me to bring them up?
Okay,
Not coordinate system.
I got
they fly
you.
the same amount of time, the
Listen,
same distance.
What you're showing, right? How it looks different. That's because you're looking at a projection. It's the same distance. It's the same coordinate system. To say one is not the other is you're basically saying that the globe doesn't exist.
Then show me how that works.
It's using the same lat-long system.
Show me how that works on a flat Earth then, with your coordinate system.
They won't. They never will. For those of you that don't understand what they're talking about, they're trying to distance themselves from the AE map now, the Gleason's map. They're trying to say that it does look like that, but you shouldn't take any notice of the Latin long lines, because they know that skews all of the distances. So they're just going to pretend that that doesn't matter. But the land still looks the same, but not a stretch. But they can't tell you how, and they can't show you how. But it's just not that.
By how long the line looks, or is the distance determined by the distance between longitude lines?
It's the distance the plane flew.
Which is the distance that corresponds between longitude lines, right?
But this is what your claim is.
Understand?
This is your claim.
Yeah,
You
right
say
there.
the Earth is this.
No.
Do we?
The distances
Yes, we
don't
do.
match.
No, we don't.
No.
The system longitude
That's not our model. It's not our model.
spread out as it goes south, right?
Specific.
This is the map you guys keep using.
On a projected coordinate system, yes. This is what
We're not talking about a projected coordinate system. We're talking about the actual real Earth.
Moderation.
You're holding a projected coordinate system that.
But you say this is the actual surface of the Earth.
Listen, I don't say that.
Is there a position more cowardly than flat Earth when people enter debates? Is there a position any more cowardly in any topic you can think of? Because the flat Earth is the only one that they don't need to make any claims. They don't want to come to the conversation with any claims. It's like what they do is literally like challenge people to a fight. And then say, yeah, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to smash you up. And then when it comes to the fight, say, right, before we do this, I can do whatever I want to you, but I need to be invisible. I'm not going to give you a target to hit whatsoever. And if you do happen to find me, you're not allowed to hit me in the face. But however, it's all fair game with you. I'll do whatever I want, and I'm just going to smash you out. You're scared. Are you running? Are you running from me? Yeah, it's not. That's what they do. They don't make any claims. Don't have a model. Don't know anything, but I do know. And what they do that they nitpick is like distances or they nitpick the size of the globe. So I don't know why people don't just say to them, okay, then I don't claim any size. It's definitely a globe. Disprove a globe. Because it's as stupid as their position. It's like, we're not going to make any claims. We're not going to tell you the size. We're not going to tell you anything. We're not going to tell you how the lat-long lines work. We're just going to say nutter to everything and then go back to trying to falsify what you claim because you've actually got the balls to make a claim in this conversation.
That is the surface of the Earth. I say specifically that is a snapshot of the sky that corresponds to positions of the stars.
That's not the sky, though.
A snapshot of the
that is the
sky.
surface.
We're looking at the Earth.
This is
gentlemen.
North America, South America. This isn't the sky.
Please don't interrupt and talk over me when I'm explaining my position.
Yeah, pull your arms off. He is a Wookiee.
That is, and those correspond to ground positions of stars. That is what we're looking at here. Okay, the overlay of the ground on the projection doesn't represent the actual geography of the ground. Australia is not really stretched out like that. You're looking at a coordinate system stretch that is really.
Look at Jabba fake laughing. I bet he's fucking relieved that old Chewie took over here. He was getting absolutely annihilated, and he's got the nerve to sit there with that weird smile that he's doing.
Relating geographic positions to stars. That
So what is the
in contention
actual
here.
non-projected shape
Why does Jabba look like someone smashed him around the head with a baseball bat?
of the Earth then?
Yeah,
The Earth,
according to you.
present.
If this isn't, I mean, you presented this a bunch of times and leading us to believe, like Edward Hendry, like Gleason, like 175 years of flat earthers have said this is the actual non-projected real distances, real everything of the surface of the Earth. But you seem, after your presentation, to not think that's it. Could you please present us the non-projected surface of the Earth measurements and distances
No
and
chance.
shapes that you think it is?
So the lines of longitude on your map would have to converge somehow, like they do on the
No,
globe.
Exactly.
They don't have to converge
Exactly.
anyway. If it's a merger of two hemispheres observed at different times but merged together.
That's
then
a
What
no.
did you just say? That's a
That's a
globe.
globe. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, how can they converge? How can they converge in the north and then the south and it not be a globe? Like what? He's blowing his cheeks at like these people don't understand anything. And what? Look at this mess over here. Oh my god.
We
You
already
just
went
described a
over
globe.
We already went over that objects in the sky are apparent to you, right? You see in a
We're talking
Oh, it's apparent. Everything's just apparent now. The sun's not really the sun. It's just an apparent sun. Apparent horizon, apparent stars, apparent moon. Everything's just apparent because if it's not apparent, there is no flat Earth. So it has to be apparent.
about the surface right here,
Yeah.
the surface.
No, you're talking
on
about
the
a coordinate
surface.
system. That's what
You're talking about.
How
Well,
can
then
the distance?
let's stop
I'm sure he's getting frustrated now.
talking about a coordinate system. Just tell us what the surface looks like. Is this it or
Yeah,
something else?
the map-
What's the something else?
How
Show
can
us
it
the
be-
something else.
How can the distances be the same in the north and the south physically on your map?
It can't.
I
Well,
don't care about coordinate systems. How
Well-
physically can they be the same?
in the south, right, in the coordinate system that you're representing, holding up there, guess where the biggest corrections are in astrogeodetic surveying to make it
Wow.
comport to symmetry? Guess where they are?
I'm going to guess they're not
I'm just gonna
answering
need
this
the
question.
citations to answer once you answer it. Go ahead.
It's in the south. There we have tons of
Citation.
But the 24-hour sun in Antarctica oh no, sorry, that was just the apparent sun, wasn't it? It was just apparently circling Antarctica in the final experiment.
Needed.
Shane will pull them up. We've got a lot on his database.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Shane will pull it up.
Astrogeodetic surveying, southern corrections, where they're the
Oh,
most
Australia.
Shane's got too much of a dry mouth to pull it up. He must have just eaten one of them little frogs.
You did okay. Hold on.
So anyway, as we continue
Now,
here,
I just want everybody.
as
This
we-
is
wait,
a
wait,
flat
wait.
Earth debate, and they refuse to say what they think the actual surface of the Earth looks like.
That's every flat Earth debate. What are you talking about?
Right.
They are
The
afraid of
surface-
their own topic.
The surface of the Earth is flat. What you're holding up corresponds to positions of the stars.
Okay, fine. That's not your map. Where's your map?
That's what we're asking.
Yeah, where's your map?
The geography is likely laid out similarly, but the stretches and distortions are not the same. Or they're not one to
Cool.
one like you're
Show us the
presenting.
non-stretched and non-distorted one.
We don't have one. All we have.
Oh,
is
you
the
lost.
graticule and
You
multiple-
don't
Then why are you even here? Globe confirmed.
All you're doing
Why are you here? Exactly. We don't have any. We don't have a position. We just know yours is wrong.
is trying to back into the flat
Coordinate
Earth
system
from the
confirmed.
globe.
Okay,
And it's
okay,
so
here's-
weird to watch. Everything in the sky matches the globe. Everything on the ground matches the globe. But we're just going to back your way in and say we
You
see
say everything
globes.
matches the globe
Yes,
except
it
for the
does.
mutually exclusive timing predictions of the occlusion of stars
Numbers on a
based physical
spreadsheet
elevation
are
angle
not
differences
evidence.
if the Earth is actually
Oh, don't upset him.
tilted. Hold on a second. Yeah, this dude's been talking over me for a hot minute. No. We came here with 39 mutually exclusive measurements that show, with timing, that the star's position shows that the elevation angles of what is asserted by the globe is false, right? Everything that you presented.
I love how old Jabba's just tagged out at this point, pretending he's looking shit up. He must have like a screen over there, a screen over there, a screen over there. He's probably drowning them all in his sweat from his panic. He's probably sitting there. It's probably up to his knees in sweat on the floor.
Is positions of things in the sky with respect to when they can be seen. Hold on one second. You're shaking your head, but your whole presentation was positions of the Southern Cross, positions of this and that with respect to time, right? There's no way to differentiate the correctness of what you're asserting. That's why the celestial theodolite is introduced. That's the significance of this argument. You have nothing. You guys are fully disarmed here. You guys are
Disarmed. You said it
Yes.
matched the globe, but that was just optical.
Yes,
Then you made a whole bunch of word salad
see-
nonsense bullshit
you say-
about why that's not really what we're seeing. That's what you did.
You say that,
all you guys have.
You ignore the references to multiple things that in both models we see in a dome of vision and everything in the sky.
You're
is apparent
making
to us.
garbage up.
Can I screen share real quick, James?
No, you can't. The dome of vision nonsense. I always say this to the dome of vision that we've got. We see in a dome of vision. So surely that would show a curved horizon as well then, the dome of vision. So why do you constantly say, that's flat, it's completely flat, if we're seeing in a dome of vision all the time? This is what they just did there, in case anyone missed that. He literally said, you've got nothing, blah, blah, blah. Like, they get annihilated. This is every flat earth debate. Not every, because sometimes they come up against really inept people and they can kind of word salad their way to look like they sort of made a point. But most of the time, they will get completely crushed and then say, you brought nothing, like, we just won, and then go and do a victory dance with each other. And I bet these two go to their channel or whatever and do a reaction to this debate, doing a victory lap over this. That's how deluded this is. Anyway, hopefully you got something out of that. I will link to the whole debate. I will link to the modern day debate for the whole debate, and I will also link to MC Toons because I believe he streamed it as well. You might prefer to watch that. But cheers. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this. Until next time. I'll see you later. Cheers.